Hi everybody, Andy here again. Well, I was going to make this video yesterday thinking about this particular topic, partly because of sort of a semi conversation that I had on Twitter, but then in an email thread that I've been involved with, someone actually posed another question as well, which ties in very much with it. And as you might have seen by the title of the video, it's all about how we manage without the internet and all this type of thing. And are we ever really disconnected these days? I suppose it depends on how you come about it. But this is my story, I suppose. This week has been a bit of a strange week. My wife's been pretty ill in bed for a couple of 3 days. And as you can see, our computer is actually up here in the bedroom. So, just to be fair to my wife, she wouldn't want to be laying in bed not feeling very well, and then I'm sitting here on the computer getting in the way. So I had a couple of days away from the computer, but I didn't have a couple of days away from connectivity, the internet, or whatever you want to call it, because I had my phone. I have my iPhone, and I can contact people, I can communicate. Okay, it's limited to an extent because of what you can do on there, but I'm still in contact. And it got me thinking about that whole type of thing. And it also, something I thought that I've had for a while now, because of a trip that I've got coming up, so that towards the end of April, I'm going to be going away for about 10 days or so. More about that at a later date. And I was thinking about maybe getting a laptop, and it's just another one of those extensions. You've got your iPhone, you've got your computer here, and I'm thinking I need a laptop because when I go away, I want to keep in contact, apart from having an iPhone, but I should be abroad, so I don't know whether I can use it, and will it cost a lot of money, and all this type of thing. But then I want a computer so that I can mess about with the videos that I'm going to make and maybe hopefully upload them and do some blogs and all that. And you suddenly realise how much this takes over. And as I said, these last few days, it's made me realise, well, yeah, I've been searching on the internet thinking about getting this laptop or something. Nothing too drastic, nothing too flashy or anything like that. Something that's fairly basic, something that was compatible with my a video camera, another one of those considerations you have to have, and it does what I want it to do. It's got a wireless facility on it rather than having to use a dongle or one of these type of things. Once again, one of those things you have to think about nowadays. And it sort of got me thinking, are you ever really disconnected? Unless you really want to be. I could have just taken a decision not to do that, but it's become a habit. I actually heard a podcast today, and just part of it, wasn't the main topic, just part of the conversation that the people were having was about how I do this. I wake up in the morning, I get my iPhone, I turn it on, and I sit there, I look at my emails, and then I usually look at the tweets, and you think, it's only when someone mentions you think, that's pretty sad really, isn't it? And this whole type of thing comes up. But what happened with this email thread was someone saying about people coming on here and wanting sort of gratification, wanting feedback from people, etc. And are we doing this for self-gratification? Are we doing it because of our egos? Because we want people to tell us how good we are. We want people to watch our videos and all this type of thing. And then somebody else sort of chimes in that, well, why do we do this in the first place? If it isn't for that purpose, why do we do it? And a topic that I've had, and I've actually written a few things down here, and I've put down here about that sort of need to communicate, which I've talked about before. And you did that sort of sudden realisation, say what I had already had written before this email or whatever that I saw today, was that increasingly I feel that I need to do this. Now, why is that? Why do I feel that I need to put my thoughts and that out there for anybody to see? Because my videos don't get as many views as a lot of other people. Doesn't worry me. Yes, of course I'd like more people to see them. I'd like to, to hear other people's opinions, etc. But I write blogs with my blog, and I'll probably put a link to it down there. But I have very few people who actually read that. As somebody else pointed out in the email thread, I think they had about 7 followers, and I've only got about 10. I think 13. I think one of them's me, because I just keep the check on what's going on, which is sad in its own way, isn't it? So I put things. So why do I put things up there when I know that people generally aren't going to see them? And yet I do post things up there which get a reaction from people that you don't really realise. So maybe more people are seeing these than you realise. But it's just that sort of whole need to do it. I've written a thing down here, and I've put down here that maybe my brain has more thoughts and ideas that it can handle, and all this is just like a sort of an overspill. I've often mentioned that before, that I'm sort of one of these people who sort of thinks a lot. I jot things down, as I've done here, just sort of all these bits and pieces. That was literally just thinking about this video last night and thought, I'll write a couple of ideas down. Before I knew it, I had a whole page of things. And that's partly one of the reasons that I do this, is just to put these things out. I do these vlogs, I do blogs as well. Twitter, I even treat that sometimes as like a mini blog thing. You put a little topic out there or something. I put a tweet out there yesterday, it was something along the line, why, I don't know where the thought came from, that's an indication. Something along the line, if Leonardo da Vinci were alive today, what on earth would he make of the internet? And I should imagine the Mona Lisa would be smiling about it all. And it's just one of those thoughts that comes in. But often these things inspire me, anyway, to write blog posts, to do videos, etc. as well. And I'll put this, is this an admission that I can't do without these things, or is it just an indication of the path my life has taken and how it's changed over the past few years? And I think that is an indication, with the whole idea of this sort of going away, needing a laptop. I'm using the word need when I don't really need it at all, do I? But it's that indication of how this has changed your life. It's a whole new avenue in your life. We all have our different stuff, and I know I've covered these topics a lot, but it's just one of those things that's been brought home to me, I think, this week, that that you feel that you need it because you're concerned. You'll not say you're worried that you're going to be out of contact. I won't be out of contact because I would be with other people. But I feel that I want to put this stuff out there, maybe to relay what I'm doing, but also it's a record for myself. I've said that a lot of the times. I look back. I do sort of look back at videos and read old blog posts and look at photos and things like that, and they are great for memories. I had a conversation the other day with Gary, Anakin 1814, or a couple of tweets backwards and forwards about when we stayed in Elizabethtown, and we were reminded of that for a particular reason. And I can go back, I can watch those videos that we made at that time. I made, Gary made, Mike made, and I can go back to that time. I did that not long ago, just through something. Maybe I got a comment on one of them, I really can't remember. And that's one of the other things that's good, is that you can be reminded by somebody else watching one of those videos, commenting on one of those videos, and it takes you right back to that sort of time. So it's that historical side of it. It's a personal record that you're putting up there. But as someone said earlier, if it's a personal record, why don't you just make everything private and leave it out there? Why do we put it out there for people to see? It's a very hard question to answer, really. From my point of view, yes, I like to know what other people think of the topics that I put out there, whether people think along the same sort of lines as me. That's why I like the comments, that's why I like the interaction. But if I hadn't have made all of this stuff private, should I say, shall I start that again? If I hadn't have made all this stuff available for the whole world to see, or potentially the whole world to see, I would never have met people like Gary, people like Mike, and other people that I know, other people that I converse with on here, by email, etc., by Twitter, and all these type of services that we've got now. I would never have met them either in real life or, via the internet, etc., and built up what I consider to be good friendships. Another point that came out in one of these email threads about like-minded people getting together from across the world, whether it be like this or whether it be in email threads or whatever it might be, in stick-hand rooms and all those type of things, which is something I've never done, but you know what I mean about that. And we get to know people. I converse quite frequently with people on Twitter or on email, people that I consider to be friends who I've never met, probably never will ever meet, unfortunately, because of the way that things are. But we know each other, we call each other mates and that, and it's a genuine affection, I think, if you want to put it that way, with people that you've known on here who followed you on the internet through your internet journey as well, and you may have followed them as well. So maybe you can answer me that question. Why do you do this? And maybe if you don't, why don't you? Because there are a lot of people that watch my videos I know who either make very few videos or who never do it at all. They just here to watch, and I don't have a problem with that. I watch other people as well and get inspiration or ideas, or just enjoy other people's opinions and ideas as well. But I'm interested to know why you do this. Why, what do you get back out of it? Is it the friendship? Is it that sort of ego stroking that you get sometimes, which is good? I'm not going to doubt that at all. I'm not going to be a lie and say it isn't nice to get your ego stroked every so often by whoever it might be. But someone says a really very nice comment about you, or you see a video of yours suddenly gets a lot more views, and you think, oh, that's nice, that's good to see. And yes, you put other videos out there which you think are one of your better ones, and they don't get the views that you expect. So, well, there you go. Maybe it's a disappointment. You think, well, okay, we just move on. As I said, I still think, I've said this many times, I still think that I'd be doing this even if anybody didn't watch. But you never know, do you? Because maybe that's what inspires you. It's that thing that keeps going and going. You know that some people enjoy your videos or your thoughts or ideas, etc. Your presence even here because of what they say. And that inspires you to keep going and doing it. So lots of different topics there. So there you go. That's what I was doing. And I've just put down at the bottom here. How did I ever manage before? I really don't know. Life has changed, hasn't it? My life has changed. You can always look back and see how things were. I was doing that earlier on about something. I did a blog post about computers and how things have changed as well. Something else that just happened to come into my mind because I bought a USB stick. But that's another story, another blog altogether. So I'm going to leave it there. Love to hear your opinions, your ideas about this. Why do you do this? You know, what is your... you might not have an aim, but if you have got an aim, let me know. Mine's just to put my ideas out there. I think that it's something that maybe I've always wanted to do without realising it and never really had the opportunity to do so. But maybe you can tell me what your ideas are. Anyway, thanks for your time. I'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye.